Welcome to CSB Television. April is National Jazz Appreciation Month, National Poetry Month, National Autism Awareness Month, and International Guitar Month. In the month of April, we will be sharing videos from the past that has anything to do with guitars, autism, poetry, and jazz. Let's take a look at today's video.
Intimacy. In his arms I fell intimately, and passion deep in his eyes, a story to tell. Intimately, his kiss fell upon me, our bodies danced, his whisper love, he gave me intimacy. And passion I fell in his eyes, he caressed me softly with his lips, between my thighs, intimately. In love I fell, he stole my heart. He gave me tenderness, a story to tell. Softly I felt his kiss, tenderly caress, and passion, eternity, endlessness.
So, when did you first discover or come to the knowledge of poetry and what it is?
I would have to say I was in the second grade when I read my first poem. And I wouldn't even say it was a poem. It was a Dr. Seuss book. And it was just the way that it rhymed that made me really attracted to it, that made me drawn into the words and the way that they were put together. And after that, I would say that that was when I fell in love with poetry and words and the way that you could put them together.
When did you decide, like your first poem, when did you say, I think I'm gonna take this on and write see if I can write a poem?
That's funny because immediately after I discovered Dr. Seuss, I copied one of the pages out of his book and I showed it to my mom and said, hey, look, I wrote a poem. And my mom, at first she was like, oh, really? Oh my God, my baby wrote a poem. And then when she found out it was from Dr. Seuss, she's like, girl, she's like, go sit down somewhere. But after that, I say maybe in the third grade, fourth grade was when I wrote my first poem from myself.
Awesome. When did you get to the point of realizing that it wasn't just going to be a hobby? I'm going to write poetry and release it to the world.
I would say when I was about 20, when I was in college, I really didn't know what I wanted to go to college for. I just knew that I wanted to do something with writing. And I started taking all these different writing classes. I took a creative writing class and I had a teacher, my creative writing teacher in that class who talked to us about poetry all the time. One day I came in and I was just in a bad mood. She was like, well, write a poem about, I guess about what you went through today. And didn't feel like writing it, but I wrote it. And she said, if you could write a poem like that, you could teach this class. And that was when I knew that that was something that I really wanted to do.
Awesome. Well, have you ever thought of becoming a teacher or have you ever taught poetry?
I've thought about it, but at the same time, I don't know if it would be something that I would really want to do right now. Maybe in the future, maybe one class, one like beginner's course or something, but not right now.
I understand. That's something I always say, oh, I can be a teacher, make extra money. And I'm like, I don't know that I have the passion to teach what I know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. That's why I also debated on it because I think my passion for writing and my passion for actually teaching others how to write, I don't think it would be there and it wouldn't be the same.
So how do you write poetry? Is it do you look to write a poem or does it just boom, an idea comes to you and you write it down, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes I'll get an idea and it'll just stick to me until it comes out. And sometimes if I feel like it's been a long time since I've actually put my emotions on paper, I just start thinking of different ways I can put it on paper, or I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it's a little bit of both.
Do you have any advice to a aspiring poet who is thinking about it and hasn't really, because now there's always been rejection, there's always been criticism. Of course, for social media today, it's much more than ever, and people are more nasty and rude about it. So people may have the want to do poetry, they just are afraid of the reaction. So what advice would you give someone who's stuck in wanting to write poetry, they haven't done it yet?
I would just say, just do it. Don't worry about what other people are going to say. That's the worst thing you could do is think about what other people think about your writing. Um, Especially with something like poetry, because poetry to me is just nothing but pure emotion. So all you're doing is writing your emotions down. And you're writing it down in a way that is, I'm not going to say understanding, but that can be relatable. And so with social media and all that, I would just say, just keep going. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't doubt it. Just do it. And put it out there. And I mean, if you're not sure if you're ready for social media or people on Facebook, whatever, to see your poems, then maybe start with someone that's close to you and share it with them. And I mean, if you have the confidence, or even if you don't want to do it, then don't. I mean, at least there's something that you did for yourself. Because when I started writing, I wasn't doing it to share with other people. I wasn't doing it because I was trying to impress anybody else. I did it for me. It was my way of expressing myself because I didn't know how to do it openly. So, with anything, not with just writing, if you want to do it, just do it. And, and just embrace all the changes and all the things that come with it. And that's it. Just don't be afraid.
For a poet as yourself, have you ever experienced writer's block? And if you have, how do you unblock it?
Actually, I have. I've experienced writer's block a few times. I usually leave and do other things and maybe come back. I might pick up a different hobby or do a different project. I like to put puzzles together. So a lot of times when I'm putting puzzles together, it's helping me form the words that I want to say on paper. So I mean, I would just say something like that. If a person is experiencing writer's block, if you don't have a hobby, maybe find something that you love to do. I've put puzzles together since I was a kid. So for me, it comes natural to actually pick a puzzle up and actually put it together till the writer's block is gone.
Cool. So my last question for you, if you could be in a anthology, a book of different poets sharing one or two poems, name three other poets you whether they be dead or alive, you wish you could be in that anthology with.
Wow. Maya Angelou. Nikki Giovanni. And Langston Hughes. Wrapped in his essence. Losing myself in him, he captured me. I dreamed of him embracing, kissing, rapturing. We spent our days lost in each other's touch, dancing in passion, whispering glimmer, adoring lust. Looking at him, his gaze pleasured me, dancing across each other, quietly, distantly. Embracingly we kissed, lost in each other, and passionate rapture, hopeless love of another. Losing myself in him captured me, lost forever, I was his forever rapture.
That is all the time we have for you for today. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again